Welcome to the Fun Lab, the Social Psychology Lab. In this module, you'll be introduced to the social psychology course of marriages and families. You will explore market demographics, course details, competition, and our first entry into this market, Marriages and Families in the 21st Century by Tasha Howe. Social psychology is a subdiscipline of psychology that deals with social interactions, including their origins and their effects on the individual. This fall, you'll be selling in intimate relationships, marriages, and families for the first time with Tasha Howe's interdisciplinary, individual, and contextual learn by doing approach. You have a new, fully revised and refreshed 9th edition of Nicole Elsie Quest and Janet Shibley Hyde's The Psychology of Women and Gender that now includes current women's and new transgender coverage. This is a pickup from Cengage with a very established following and is new to Sage, which means zero base for you. Go get them. You'll also have a new reader as a prelude into the introductory social psychology course, Nelson's Classic and Contemporary Studies in Social Psychology. Additionally, you have revised editions of Fisk's Social Cognition, Barash's Peace and Conflict Studies, and Blaine's Understanding the Psychology of Diversity. Have fun! To be successful in this new market, you need to find the right home for Howe. What do I mean? The Marriage and Families course is a social psychology or human development and family studies course. Howe is not intended to be sold into sociology. Howe is written from a psychologist's perspective. It depicts balanced micro and macro, read, individual person and societal context coverage. So it probably won't fit as well outside of psychology and HDFS. Taught at the sophomore and junior level, this course will be called Intimate Relationships, Marriages, Families and Relationships, Marriages and Families, Close Relationships, Families in a Global Setting, or Marriage and Family Relationships. I'm sure you get the idea. This fun new course explores dating, mating, families, friendships, relationships, their structures, their social contexts, and related biology. So where do you find this course? Psych departments. There are also many opportunities in HDFS. And who teaches the course? This will be psychologists, social psych folks, and developmentalists, sometimes psychologists, sometimes people coming from an HDFS or family and consumer sciences background. Howe is a very exciting new book for us. Coming to us in its 2nd edition, reviewers commend Howe for her superb job of keeping students reminded of the multiple influences on family and individuals, her ability to bring the self into the discussion on relationships, and the book's strength of debunking the myth about what the ideal American family should be. Jamie Fresh, shout out to you. Jamie knows how excited the market is about Howe. She's already closed a fall 2017 adoption in Colorado. Yay, Jamie! Howe offers an interdisciplinary scope to apply across psychology and HDFS courses. Howe is an incredibly engaging book. It uses a strengths-based, positive framework to focus on the connections and the universal commonalities, those threads between diverse families and individuals. Tasha uses storytelling and rich, relatable examples and visuals to capture students' attention in her book. She knows that psychology students will carry this forward into their own research, and a lot of HDFS students will apply this sort of coverage to the real world in their own lives and careers. Howe meets students where they are, in a pool of rich American diversity. She dispels long-standing myths by presenting diverse, inclusive family coverage and contexts. This coverage is reflective of today's students. The coverage is also reflective of the experiences that students taking this course will have in the real world as a nurse, a social worker, a preschool teacher, or any sort of an educator. Howe creates a personalized learning experience with frequent self-assessments and strengths-based learning exercises. These are active learning, learning by doing. These exercises also scaffold content for students, and Tasha's pedagogy allows them to examine their own experiences via scientific methods. This approach helps students to build critical thinking skills, to strengthen their scientific analysis skills, and to connect these abilities to real research. Finally, How contains diverse coverage and much hands-on experience for students. This pushes students taking the course and using her book to reevaluate their own assumptions and experiences. Finally, How offers diverse coverage and a hands-on approach to push students to reevaluate their own assumptions and experiences, and to examine and contrast them with those that are universal. Marriages and Families takes a bioecological approach to examining relationships and families. So what is bioecological? The bioecological model provides an organizing framework that helps students to see how families are shaped by multiple influences, from biological to cultural, that interact with one another. Here's the exciting part. The framework of this book is about contexts. You know those. The biological, physical, social, and cultural experiences that shape an individual also shape their relationships and their interactions. Think about yourself, your genes, family, pets, your workplace or your school, your church, your friends, your first love, and time. These all affect who you become and how you interact with others. This should sound very familiar. This approach is very popular in psychology and across human development. In Marriages and Families, students learn by doing. It's insightful and makes content more memorable. The How text achieves this through its Building Your Strengths exercises and self-assessment applied features. Students can try these themselves, and they'll have fun doing it. In both, students will have the opportunity to reflect on their own family's strengths and to work to build them further. They are also useful to students in helping to recognize the commonalities that exist in healthy families, regardless of varied and diverse backgrounds. Another key component of How is the book's applied, try it as you do it, active learning coverage of research methods. In How, students are encouraged to learn about research methods by doing. This occurs via the How Would You Measure That feature. This feature presents innovative research studies and encourages students to develop their scientific analysis and critical thinking skills. Similarly, Brain Food examines laws, facts, and policies that shape family life. This feature is also designed to test tough-to-dispel student misconceptions. Our Levine text offers a similar feature. So why does this matter? Brain Food gives practical, real-world application, challenging misconceptions that are a part of everyday life or students' future career pathways. Things that, because we all know them so well and have grown up with them, we didn't even necessarily know weren't universal. How will help students to dispel common misperceptions while pushing these students to think critically about why they're incorrect. A question you can ask to assess this feature's relevance in a call is, how do you address common myths and misconceptions students believe about families and relationships in your course? Or, how do you show students that their own experience isn't necessarily universal? You might also want to ask, how does your text encourage students to apply the scientific method to real research? This will resonate for the How do you measure that feature. Engaging with real families is nuanced and unique. How uses the Focus on My Family feature to show students real families of many diverse ethnicities, cultures, and sexual orientations. In this feature, these families share their experiences through essays and photos. This use of storytelling and relatable examples is sure to capture students' attention and to reflect their own experiences. To test the waters on this, ask, what opportunities for self-reflection do your students have with their current text? With How, we offer Sage Premium videos titled Families Today. These video clips bring family contexts and complexities to life. Available with every chapter, students have the opportunity to explore diverse family experiences firsthand. How offers a total of 56 Families Today videos, covering family and close relationships research and interactions in action. These are tied to both multiple choice and critical thinking assessment. Find out if this is of interest to your instructors by asking, how do you show students other familial contexts they may not have personally encountered or experienced? End of chapter flowcharts with learning objectives, key terms, reflection questions, and highlighted digital resources help students create a mental template of the complete picture for each chapter of the book. This is a really big deal, and instructors are very excited about this feature and how. All instructors have students who struggle with test preparation. Be sure to ask, how does your current text help students connect all the pieces across chapters? This will get you to this outstanding study tool. Earlier, we talked about premium video, so let's connect the dots. How delivers digital options to meet instructors where they are. The book includes a no additional cost Sage Edge companion site. This will house the test bank, PowerPoints, and a complete instructor's manual. We'll also house our standard free Sage student resources here. Next, the exciting stuff for you. You can also package the print text with an IEB. It's a $5 add-on. And don't forget, you have 56 premium videos curated by an expert to illustrate concepts and to align with the how text. These videos are all accompanied by assessment, and the assessment is housed in the Sage course pack for ease of use for your instructors. Let's take a few minutes to talk about the competition. The competitive market in marriages and families can be segmented by their focus or the department they appeal to. How's competitors are identified by the department in which they most appeal: psychology or human development and family studies. Our how text sits comfortably in the middle of these segments. How? Keep going to find out. On your left, you have the psychology end of the spectrum. Much of this competition is dated, and you won't see competitive reps in this space. The Bradbury text is a social and clinical psychology approach to intimate relationships. Go after this with how. Olson is also a psychosocial approach to marriages and families. To round out the psychology side of the competition, you have the #1 book in this market space, Rowdy Miller's Intimate Relationships. This is an interdisciplinary text, also written from a psych perspective, and a fantastic target for Tasha Howe's book. On our right, on the human development and family studies end of the spectrum, we have 3 additional market spotters. These books are also really old and dated. The DeGeneva text takes a positive approach to marriages and families. Sounds like how, but much, much older. McGoldrick is a comprehensive, though therapeutic approach to marriage and family. Williams is also interdisciplinary, though it does include a lot of application. I would go after that when selling how. So remember, when facing competitors across both ends of the spectrum, how offers an interdisciplinary scope that applies in both psychology and HDFS courses. How is rooted in a positive framework via its strengths-based active learning approach. This book is also incredibly engaging, using stories and relatable examples and key, easy to understand visuals to capture and keep students' attention. How uses a myths and misconceptions feature to present diverse, universal coverage and to help students examine their own and the experiences that they will encounter as they go out into their lives and careers. How also creates a personalized learning experience with frequent self-assessments and its strengths exercises. This scaffolds content for student learners and allows them to fully understand their own experiences in the context of actual scientific methods. This book is rich and diverse. It's reflective of the many, many cultures and diverse aspects across the US. It's also inclusive, meaning that it will cover everything from Christianity to same-sex couples. Finally, How offers strong digital support. You have 56 premium Family Today videos, Sage Edge, a course pack, and an interactive ebook to sell this fall. Marriage and Families is an exciting new market for Sage. Because it's new, and this course can be taught in a few different departments, it's important to find the right targets for how. So let's put what you've learned into practice. Come to the NSM with information on one opportunity from your territory that we can talk about. When I see you in Ojai, be ready to share which department you found the course in. What's the name of the course? Who teaches the course? Is it one person? Two? Bring their names. What's their current book in use? And finally, please bring one discovery question. You can revisit this presentation if you need a hint. We'd like you to be able to ask this in order to determine if the course you found is a how opportunity. Thanks for listening to Social Psychology. I hope you had as much fun as I did. See you in Ojai.